Janet Smith of TalentSmiths down here in your left-hand corner. And this is Lunch and Learn. This is March. And in March, I want to come to you with a bit of motivation because you probably need it. And if you find yourself constantly thinking negative here of late about yourself, about your career, even about the people around you, then you probably need a bit of motivation. So if this is happening all the time, and you don't quite know how to stop it, then you need a bit of motivation. And this is our March motivation series. This is week 2, and you can see the lineup of events on your screen. In week 2, we're talking about how to get rid of those negative thoughts as we also celebrate Women's History Month. March is Women's History Month, and you can celebrate women's history with us. TalentSmiths has created March motivation merch for Women's History. You can get your apparel, she, her, hers merch with your plural pronouns proudly displayed on your items. You can choose any of the items on the list, or you can follow the link in the description that will show you different items that are available. Celebrate women's history by getting this for yourself or for some woman that you know so that she can wear her merch and it will be hers for this month to celebrate and the months to come as well. Celebrate women during March Motivation and Women's History Month. So during this March Motivation Month, you can catch us every Thursday on Facebook, YouTube, as well as LinkedIn at 1:30 p.m. Central for a bit of motivation. And you can share your motivational tips as well. And this is week 2. We're going to talk about how to get rid of those negative thoughts that you might have and that might have been lingering and that you want to get rid of. So today I'm going to share with you 3 steps to get rid of those negative thoughts. So if you're asking yourself the question of how to fight against unhealthy thoughts, or even if you're asking yourself the question of how to fight against the feeling that you're not good enough, many people may be asking themselves that question or fighting with this question, especially now when it seems as if you may be coming up to rejection in a time when many are looking for employment and many may not be getting a response or any response. Well, if you feel like everyone is against you because of that situation, in honesty, they're not. Know that they're not against you, but we're talking about the way that you feel. We are talking about the things in your mind. So if you feel like everyone is against you, um, these thoughts are important. They're not thoughts that anyone should blow off or take lightly or discredit you for. Your thoughts are yours. Your thoughts are true, and they can have an impact on you. They can have an impact on how you feel, your career, and your overall state, your emotional well-being. So let's talk about those 3 steps. So step number 1 is become aware of what you are thinking. What are you thinking that is negative? Become aware of what it is that you're thinking. So in order to stop negative thinking, you need to know exactly what those negative thoughts are. And in order to stop negative thinking, you need to know where those thoughts come from. So ask yourself, what is it that you believe about yourself? How do you identify yourself? And write down those thoughts that came to your mind about yourself. Write down the thoughts that you have about yourself. And you'll have to marinate on those thoughts, and you have to work on those thoughts, whatever they are. And some negative thoughts are more common than others. Some of your negative thoughts may be the ones that are all also listed on the screen, which are thoughts for many people. Many people feel that they're not good enough. Many people feel that they're not where they want to be in their career. They're not where they want to be professionally, or their financial situation isn't where they want it to be. in the season that we're in right now, many people feel that they're not where they want to be in their career. And as a result, their financial situation feels the same way. It's not where they want it to be. And with a lot of the non-responsiveness from applications that you may be putting out, you may feel that people are against you, or you may just feel that the world is against you, or you may feel that things just aren't going well in your life. That's common. Those are common negative thoughts. And it's easy to have one thought pile up on top of each other and for it to just be overwhelming. And those thoughts can continue to pile up. They can be overwhelming and they can bring you down and they can have you in a negative mindset and in a negative mood. So, number two, acknowledge where those thoughts came from, where your negative thoughts came from, original negative thoughts, where they came from. If you feel as if you're a negative, individual, if you feel as if you're always negative. So ask yourself, when did you start to think this way? If it's your career, if it's your profession, those are things that you can write down. But if it happened before that, or if it's lingering because of that, you can still ask yourself, when did you start thinking this way? And ask yourself, where did your overall negative thoughts come from? If you're feeling negative about your situation, you might be able to trace it back farther than you think. You can ask yourself, who taught you to feel this way? Who taught you to process what you're going through and make it into a negative situation? That's something that you learned. So it's my experience that you think negatively because someone, like I said, you may be able to trace it back farther than you think. Someone taught you to think that way. Someone taught you that pattern of behavior. Someone taught you that negative pattern of a habitual behavior of thinking that way as a result of something happening that isn't necessarily against you, isn't to bring you down, but it can feel that way. It can definitely feel that way if it lingers on for a long time. So, those closest to you, such as your parents, your aunts, your uncles, even your grandparents, those people that are closest to you are likely the root cause of where you learned your negative thinking. Because if you grew up in a household being told that you weren't good enough, by someone close to you, someone in your family, someone very, very near and dear to you, then you likely believe this for a long time. Or maybe you still believe it today. Maybe you think that your situation in your career is because you don't feel as if you're good enough. Maybe you believe that, but think about it and trace it back to times past. So if you grew up hearing your parents complain about life's situation, about negative situations, about bad situations, then you likely complained about those same life situations and those same negative situations and even those same bad situations the same way at one point in time. Or maybe you even still complain about those situations today. Think about it. Think about it and really acknowledge where those negative thoughts and where that negative thinking could have come from. I'm not saying that is definitely where it comes from, but think about it and acknowledge the fact that that is where it could come from. So number 3, release and shift your thinking. This is where we all need to be. This is where we all need to be. We all need to release those negative thoughts and shift into more positive thoughts. So you really have to take action to get rid of those negative thoughts and replace those negative thoughts with positive ones. You have to shift your mind. Nobody can do that for you. That is all on you. You have to release those negative thoughts. You have to release those negative thoughts and replace them. So replace with positive thoughts. replace them with positive affirmation statements that you repeat to yourself over and over, your mini mantras. You can have several mini mantras, which are positive affirmation statements that you repeat to yourself over and over. So, your affirmation statements are exactly the opposite of those negative thoughts that are in your mind, that are playing in your mind over and over. So, for example, if you believe that you're never going to get ahead and you're never going to be called for a position, you can say that I am tremendously succeeding in my career. I am getting a promotion in my career. I have received a promotion in my career. You can say those positive affirmations, those mini mantras over and over, and that will help you to turn around that negative talk in your head and transform it into positive talk. So, whatever their situation is, create your positive affirmation statement that is directly the opposite of that and repeat it over and over in your head. This is going to shift from your negative state of mind into a positive state of mind. This is going to help you shift from negative to positive. And you can, no one else can for you, but you can intentionally navigate and intentionally train your brain to think on a positive note, to get off of the negative train wreck and get on positive note of thinking. So this isn't easy. It's definitely going to take work because it's different. It's different for you. We're not taught to do this. This isn't a normal practice, but you can train yourself to do this. You can train yourself. It's going to take work. It's going to take practice. It's going to be hard. You have to put in the time. You have to put in the effort to release those negative thoughts and to turn them around into positive thoughts every day. Say your affirmation statements. Say them over and over again. You can do it. I know you can. Good luck. You got this. See you next week.